Welcome to WOW TV. My name is Angel and I'm here from the Wizards of Wright program. The WOW program is a part of the Educational Outreach Office here at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Today we're going to talk about reverse engineering. Are you ready to get started? You may already know what engineering is and what engineers do. Engineers are people who design, build, or maintain things. These are things like equipment, engines, machines, buildings, roads and bridges, and parks. Engineers work in many different fields and are the people we depend on to know how and why things work. Today we'll talk about reverse engineering, the process of taking something apart to understand how it works. This process allows engineers to create new products and to improve existing products, and allows you the opportunity to think like an engineer. When engineers, or students, use reverse engineering, they can understand how all of the pieces of a device work together. They can use that information to make a new version of the device that might be faster, cheaper, or more environmentally friendly. The reverse engineering process can be applied to anything from toys to computers to even more complicated machines. The reverse engineering process begins by thinking about a product or a system and what it does. Let's look at this example. In order to reverse engineer this, it would need to be taken apart to understand how it all works and then be put back together correctly. Sometimes this is when improvements are made. Whether it's a toy, a computer, or a machine, the product is taken apart to see all of the individual pieces. Examining the individual parts or steps leads to an understanding of how the parts work in the product. That can show how forces and motion work in general. Now, this is a really important part. In order to be able to reassemble the product properly, an engineer may draw a diagram or take notes and write out the instructions in reverse. Then another engineer can follow those instructions to reassemble the device. This process can be challenging, so let's practice. Let's pause for a moment while everyone gets a piece of paper and something to write with. I'll meet you back here when everyone is ready. Okay, are you ready? In the next few minutes, your job is to list how to build a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. For an extra challenge, can you start with the last step and then write it in reverse? Teachers will pause again as your students do this activity. Go ahead and choose a few students to read theirs to the class. I'll wait here while you do this. How did that go? Was it easy? Did you remember to include every step? Now, let's move on to something bigger. For this activity, you'll work in groups of 3 to 4 to complete the challenge. Your group will be given a device that you'll have to reverse engineer. As you do this, you'll be writing instructions so another group can put your device back together. Let's go over all of the directions before you get started. Each group will receive a device, a blank instruction sheet, and a blank answer grid. You'll have about 15 minutes to deconstruct the device, write the instructions, and draw out the answer key. Teachers, you may want to take some time to explain a little more about how the grid and the layers should be used. Remember, you don't need to use all of the lines given. You should also use the grid to draw an answer key. We suggest that you break the deconstruction process into layers and use the abbreviations marked on the pieces. Teachers, after each group completes the deconstruction and the writing of their directions to put it back together, make sure to collect those answer grids. When you're ready, have each group leave their directions on the table and move to a different device. Each group will have about 15 minutes to reconstruct the new device based only on the instructions. After about 10 minutes, any groups that are struggling can be given the answer grid to assist them. After completion, the two groups can then discuss what worked and what didn't. If there's time, you can have the students propose a simplified version of each device based off of what they learned in the reverse engineering process. When all of this is completed, you can then collect the project kits. I'll see you back here in a bit. How did that go? Was it harder than you expected? Let's review the purpose of reverse engineering. Reverse engineering includes the steps of taking something apart so that you can understand how it works. The process allows engineers to create new products and to improve existing products. When reverse engineering is used, we can understand how all of the pieces of a device work together and use that information to make a new version of the device that might be quicker to use, less expensive to make or buy, and more eco-friendly. I challenge you now to find something you use every day, either at home or at school, and see if you can find a way to make it better by using the reverse engineering process. You should probably ask before you start taking something apart. You did a great job today. Thanks for joining me. And teachers, thanks so much for using this WOW lesson. Please check out more at our website at wpafbstem.com.